Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. On today's Fit Club, we talk sugar and selfies with Greenleaf's resident heartthrob, Ben Patterson.
What's going on?
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, Fit Club.
All right, you guys, you hear that music, and it should remind you of the own hit show called Greenleaf. I'm your host, Fallon Mercedes, here at Fit Club. Sitting next to me is Mr. Ben Patterson. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me back.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
my lovely co-host, Mr. Shaka Strong.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong. Where can they find you, Ben?
You can find me on Instagram at Benjamin Patterson all day, and Ben just creates on Twitter.
Like all day, you just write all day.
All day.
And you post photos all day.
I really do.
All right.
Videos and all sorts of stuff.
So while you guys are going online to follow him, we have a lot to talk about. Of course, we have our Fit Club topics. We're going to be talking selfies, we're going to be talking sugar, and we're going to be talking about everything that's going on with you, with Greenleaf and everything else.
Nice.
You do look familiar. Can you tell some of our fans where else they've seen you?
Well, I shot.
Because he's been in the game for a while, right?
I've been out for a minute, so I would say there's fans that will know me from Noah's Ark. There's a few people that have seen that show Grey's Anatomy. It's
You know, just Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I was on Grey's, and then also I was in a movie called Dear Secret Santa with Tatiana Ali, where I play her ex-boyfriend.
Oh, man,
similar
Fresh
to
Prince.
how, yeah, you know, that was what was her name in that show?
Ashley.
Ashley, that's right. Yes.
Can't forget Ashley.
Yeah, she was a little sister. So yeah, there's been a few things.
Okay, so we're going to pick your brain later, or even while we're doing the show, about health and fitness topics, because
Absolutely.
you got the acting game down, and you look the part, but, you know, are you really keen to
Do
all
I
this?
walk the walk?
Exactly.
Is what you want to know.
All right, so Shaka is so great at finding all these amazing studies. Right now, Harvard is underwater for a scandal about, I guess, what would you call it? Giving money to researchers or hiding information?
Yeah, this was really crazy. So the Journal of America, for the American Medical Association has published this. They found letters in the basement of Harvard for these two scientists, leading nutritionists, that were paid by the sugar lobby to basically delay the linking of sugar with cardiovascular pulmonary disease.
Really?
Yeah, cardiovascular disease. And so
Wow.
it's crazy because it apparently delayed the consensus on this thing for decades. So scientists weren't able to make a consensus on whether or not there was a link. Yeah, for coronary heart disease.
That's kind of scandalous.
And see, the thing is that, okay, so this is, you know, over 60 years ago that they were hiding this information, and how they found it was they found different files in the basement of Harvard that contained this information and brought it to light.
Yeah.
So what they believe is that when they did this study, I mean, if you hear studies saying that there's no correlation, why would you spend more money and put more dollars into researching it even more?
Right.
So
Somebody wasn't satisfied.
well, now, 60
Yeah.
years later. But it makes sense that, you know, this is kind of the same situation with cigarettes. You know, people say, oh, it's okay, you're fine. So everybody thinks, oh, you're fine. And then so many years later, you're seeing people die or, you know, having all these health issues. So I think probably what happened is they believed it, and then they started to see the correlation with coronary heart disease, obesity on the rise, and they said, okay, wait, this doesn't sound right. But it took so many years for that to come to light.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous how it's kind of changed the way we eat, because I think that kind of put the light onto fat, and so people stopped paying attention to sugar, you know?
Right,
And
right.
so we've had 60 years of having to battle back to where we once were.
And the scary thing is that if these food companies, you know, they have all the money, and scientists, they need money to do research.
Right.
So if you're a scientist, you need the money to do the research, and these companies are paying you, most likely you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And the scary thing is that if this study was backed by, I guess, bad money, is it bad money?
Yeah, essentially, right?
What other studies?
Yeah. And so we had a couple of cases where we know that Coca-Cola injected 1.5 million into an anti-obesity campaign called the Global Energy Balance Network. But what they did was, rather than focus on diet, they focused on exercise as the way to reduce obesity. So that takes the spotlight off. And we had a couple of other soda-funded studies, and it found that it was 5 times more likely to be no link between soda and obesity if it was funded by the soda lobby.
Of course, because you can't take away the money
Exactly.
and get the study done. So if you're,
the findings that you need. And so we just recently had, at least with pomegranate, making some not false claims, but they pumped a bunch of millions of dollars into their own studies and made health claims based on that. And they were recently told by the U.S. Court of Appeals that they had to run their studies in a particular manner in order to make certain claims.
Right.
Because in pomegranate juice, just like cranberry juice, all these juices, there's so much sugar. Usually there's about 32 grams of sugar. So with all that sugar in one serving, it's really not that healthy for you.
Yeah, and now I know that when you're on set and you get crafty,
you get everything.
And you get everything.
You know
right?
something about crafty,
Yeah,
I
right?
can pour sugar on my hands and just scoop it in my
And
face.
so for our listeners out there, crafties, when you're on set, they provide you food, and usually it's going to be pretty much everything you've ever wanted in your entire life, and some healthy stuff too. How did you, on
Navigate
Greenleaf?
that?
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
gotta be.
I'll tell everybody the honest truth. For the first 2 weeks, I ate everything. I mean, like the fruit roll-ups, the apples, the trail mix, the banana pudding, the banana bread, I mean, just literally. No, in all honesty, I probably would get a normal amount of food, and then I'd graze a little here and there, get some fruit snacks, get some trail mix. But one thing I made sure I did, and you can ask anybody on set, I would take walks, and I would literally, like, if I wasn't working for like a half hour, 45 minutes, I would literally walk the perimeter of the studio because I know it's going to be at least a mile, and I would also drink a lot of water. Because I would get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm not hungry, but I'm looking at like...
You're surrounded by that food.
I mean, like...
What a good tip, because drinking water to keep yourself full,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you also, it aids in digestion, so at the same time, I'm like, okay, I have to go take a bathroom break real quick. But I would just be like, okay, I'm not going to have the banana cake, but I may have some chocolate cookies. Or if I have like the those little crispy... Famous Amos cookies.
Oh, those are good.
Bomb, son.
Man, I miss those.
You get a couple of but see, after, and that's day 1. So then you figure, okay, like day 7, okay, I'm done, I'm good. And then I would get back to set, and I'm just like, wow, breakfast burritos, okay, then fine. So you get to a point where you kind of like you calm it down.
Yeah, that's pretty smart of you, because even studies show that after you eat, if you go for a walk, your glucose levels won't spike as high because you're burning the sugar that you just ate. Instead of it going into your bloodstream and turning into fat. So good idea, you guys. If you're around, not just Crafty or wherever you're around, if you're at the office and, your coworkers are tempting you with some goodies, if you do eat them, go for a walk.
Yeah, definitely.
And we know it works from watching Greenleaf. We know it works. You stayed in shape.
Episode 8.
I actually, not the Fit to Fat show that I did, but before that, I used to work for a production company, and literally I gained off of Crafty 20 pounds in like 3 months, 4 months.
It can be so easy. It's just out there, and
you're working long hours, you're stressed, you're on set, and
usually it's always replenished, so it's always full. It looks like just
opulent.
Inviting. Right?
It's opulent. You just look at it like, wow, there's just everything.
I should be eating
spaghetti covered with cheese.
All that sugar, all that chocolate. All right, so no more than 6 teaspoons of sugar a day. That was my Boston accent. Sugar a day for kids. What is all this about? I thought it was what was it, 26 grams of sugar kids could have prior to this study?
Yeah, so it's 6 teaspoons of added sugar.
Okay.
So we're not talking about like fruit or anything. And so what is added sugars? I had to look that up because I was like, what exactly is added sugar? Any table sugar, fructose, or honey. So even honey, which is sort of like, everyone kind of writes honey off as like a natural sweetener. And so you want to get 6 teaspoons, which equals about 100 calories or 25 grams. And this will help ward off obesity, insulin resistance, fatty liver. And so with you just had a child, and so this is stuff you should all be aware of.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into, like, right now we're at the point where we're getting fruit from the farmer's market and then like boiling it and making all of his baby food.
Oh, nice.
But every morning, like clockwork, I have Raisin Bran or Cheerios with honey, like clockwork. Sometimes twice in the morning. Like I love honey.
As a fitness-oriented guy, are you just like insane about the kid and like what you're feeding him?
Not necessarily. I'm looking at it like with my logical mind and then going, okay, look, you can drive yourself nuts and try to just avoid everything. You know, like look, eat rocks, eat dirt, and eat rocks. But I think, because I made it out okay. I drank a lot of soda and went to 7-Eleven a lot of times. But I was also active and also was participating in sports. Yeah. So I figure, everything within moderation, he'll navigate it pretty well. Plus, he'll have like Pop Rocks one day, and I'll be like, you know what? Pop Rocks are good.
How old's your baby?
He's 8 months.
Oh, okay. So no teeth yet?
No, 8 teeth.
8 teeth. Wow.
8 teeth.
Look at that.
He was 9 pounds at birth, and he's steadily just being like on the 100th percentile for height.
Wow, that's good.
So he's almost to the point where he can crawl now. Too.
Okay, so because he has teeth, are you able to feed him anything hard yet?
He can eat those little puffs. They almost look like Cheerios.
Oh, yeah, the cheese puffs? No, not cheese puffs.
Not Cheetos. I'm giving my son Cheetos. They come in a little container, and they come in the baby food section.
Okay.
But they're like oversized Cheerios, and they're like kind of soft. So he can kind of chew them up, and they basically dissolve once he hits his tongue. But
are you like a fanatic in the sense of like reading ingredients? Because you said you go to the farmer's market, but other stuff right now, are you like reading the ingredients to see, can you pronounce it?
Well, you know
it's
what?
Okay.
I did go with there's 2 forms of Similac infant. There's non-GMO, and then there's the other one without the. I was like, well, then why is that one even available? So I got non-GMO, and then just organic for his formula. So it's not too extreme, but there's some things I don't want to like put in his mouth.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from the viewers on this because we don't often address like infant health. So if you guys out there are interested in this, give us your questions, your feedback. We'd love to address some more of it.
Or even, have you looked into like all the research out there about getting like certain immunizations, some shots? It's a little scary.
It is, and I've decided I'm not going to freak myself out into freak out zone because it's literally like, well, if you do this one, he's gonna. And I'm like, okay,
don't go there.
Because I mean, I remember when I was a psych major, I took probability and statistics, and I do remember that statistics really do apply to groups and not necessarily individuals. However, certain facts can be eliminated to support the study. So both sides of it, I'm like, okay, look, I'm not going to freak myself out. I don't want him to get X, Y, Z, so I feel like this was necessary. But there are times when the doctor will say, you know what, you have a choice in this. And, some babies are good, some babies aren't. So you got to like figure it out. So.
And in order for children to go to school, they have to have certain shots.
Right.
Like,
you guys
what are you going to do unless you're exactly?
Oh man, an extra worry. Geez, I'm like thinking about my life in the future and just having kids.
Yeah,
but kids get stuff. They get chicken pox. They, one kid has lice. Everybody gets lice.
Exactly.
Or
you
everybody
get
stays
lice.
home.
Exactly.
Right? I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah. If you're super stressed thinking about what your kid can do, can't do, can't eat, you probably need a drink, right?
Yeah.
And actually, studies show that it's not that bad. Exercise can cancel out the booze.
Yes.
Tell me what this is about, because I feel guilty when I have a glass of wine and then try to go work out. I feel like, what am I doing? This doesn't make sense.
Well, this wasn't the British Journal of Sports and Medicine, so I don't know if they just like to drink a lot there.
I think they're onto something.
So they found that exercise can really decrease completely the added risk of cancer due to alcohol death. And also it reduced the other harmful deaths caused by alcohol as well. And so they put people in different groups. It was one group that didn't work out at all, moderate training, and the most advanced, the ones that were training all the time. And they also looked at their level of drinking. Now this was an observational study, so it doesn't mean that there's, correlation doesn't necessarily imply causation, but it looks good for those that exercise that they can actually reduce their risk of death due to cancer with alcoholism.
Right.
What do you think of this?
Being active in the animal world, you see longevity, and I figure, like we're humans, we're animals. Being active helps. You go to different countries where people drink, I would say, just as frequent, but maybe not as much. I know in Italy or in Venice and in Rome, people have a glass of wine with dinner, maybe two, maybe a bottle. But you're not going and getting smashed drinking Four Loko every weekend. You know what I mean? So there's a difference. So there are cultures that do enjoy alcohol, But there's also other things in place. Like if you're in Paris, you walk. If you're in New York, you walk. You know, there's
Exactly.
places here where you get in the car and you sit.
Drive for an hour.
And, you know, you go to
It's
Cracker
time to
Barrel.
move.
Right, you know what I mean? So
And if you're asking yourself how much exercise, it's 150 minutes a week. So
that's not too bad.
So yeah, so it's not too bad at all. And
30 minutes a day is my math.
but they did find
It's pretty good.
They found that there was actually no difference for the heaviest of drinkers that reached a harmful level. So if you're a woman, so you can't outdo it if you're just drunk.
Yeah, you're just
but
like, hey.
If you're a woman and you're having more than 20 drinks a week, not going to be good. If you're a
20
guy
drinks a
and you're
week?
having more,
Dang.
having more than
Are
28.
you a bartender?
Well, no, but you think about it, having more than 28 drinks a week for a man. But if you're going out and you're having 4 to 5 drinks a night, and you're going out every night, or even if you skip a night and you had 8 or 9 one night, you know, you're getting very
Thursday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fun day.
I know in college I may have exercised, but I certainly was meeting these harmful levels. So
I think college is a harmful level.
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah,
too.
28 drinks might have been a couple of nights, you know, a weekend.
That's a single episode of like beer pong.
Exactly.
Does this count?
Isn't it funny being an adult? I feel too tired to, like, I don't have the energy to drink that much.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'm just glad I'm past that phase because I knew it was harmful. I just couldn't stop myself.
You just don't care.
Yeah, you're just like, you know
just don't
what? We got time.
instead of drinking, I think what today's society really loves to do is take selfies.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
We are obsessed with
love
selfies.
The segue. Love the
Thank you.
segue. Very nice.
You know.
She is on it.
And studies show that it can make you happier. And I truly see this. I mean, it could go back and forth. Sometimes it can make you more insecure when you're looking at hot photos of other people online. But if you're not following those hot people and you think you're the hottest one with your selfies, you're like, I'm good. You're just not going to follow the Paige Hathaways.
Yeah.
And, you know, both of you on social media.
And I do know some people that just do that. They use their social media to like just empower themselves.
Yeah.
So they don't follow people that they might fall into a negative comparison game with.
Mm-hmm.
They follow people that just are their friends or ones that truly inspire them personally. And so, and the proof's in the pudding. But it was a college study with about 41 college students. So it wasn't a huge study, but they did find that people that took selfies had more confidence and were more comfortable with themselves.
Interesting.
And I mean, I know after I do a little Snapchat with a filter, I feel
That's what
pretty
I was
good.
going to say.
That's the thing. The
Yeah.
filters are, I mean, because I'm a funny filter.
Yeah.
I love them. But there's 2 filters I think everyone uses, not everyone, a lot of people use, that kind of like blur out and
Imperfections.
Just make everything
and
look
I'm
beautiful.
like, just look like you. Just like
Yeah.
love that. And then, you know, because when you meet the person
Yeah, you're
in
like,
life, you're
oh.
like, where's the glitter thing?
And the flowers, yeah.
I mean, it's all good. I think it's hilarious.
I know, I don't have Snapchat currently.
It's the best.
You'd be happier. You'd be
Yeah,
happier.
and
You
you
just
know-
love life a little bit more.
Yeah, my cousins, you know, they're like, you gotta get Snapchat for the filters.
The filters are fun. I have a question though, and both you guys can give me your opinion. When you go somewhere and you want to enjoy something, do you take a picture of the event or do you take a picture of yourself? Because we were in Ha Long Bay in Vietnam, and it's where the rocks are. You come to the water. It's a beautiful place. And there was this one couple where the wife took probably 50 to 75 pictures of herself.
Yeah.
While they're in this bay. And I'm like, look, there's like rocks come out of the water, it's like fog and all this other stuff, there's caves, and she's just like click, 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 click. So every one of these pictures is of her face in this spectacular location. What do you think?
That's interesting. I think I take pictures of the place, but do I leave without taking pictures of myself?
No.
Okay.
Maybe one or two.
So both are required for me. Because I need to give you context. Like this is not a photo I like got from online.
Right. Yes, I was there.
here.
I was there. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I agree with you. I have some friends who are obsessed with just taking, like, you almost ruin the moment.
Yeah.
I remember being in Paris and a guy came up to me and my one of my friends and he was like, "You guys are Americans." And I said, "Yeah." He was, "How do you know?" And he was like, "Only Americans will sit there and take pictures of the food and not eat their food."
I get it. It's like, this is beautiful. It's so good.
But we know from a fitness standpoint, you tend to be a little bit more conscious about what you're eating when you take a picture of it first.
Yes.
So you actually will be a little bit fitter because once you see and you can look and document, oh, that was fried chicken that day, that was the ribs that day. Then you know what? The third day you're gonna make a better choice.
Yeah.
Well, fried fish.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to you. What is your workout regimen? Because I am seeing all these. You saw your picture, and I swear I wasn't just looking at your topless photo. I was like trying to get to the other stories, but it kept on popping up. But I've seen your pictures. You obviously look like you work out. What is your workout regimen other than just casually walking on set? Because it looks like you do more than that.
I'm in the gym, I would say, between 4 and 6 days a week. And in those workout periods, I'll do between like 20 and 30 minutes on the bike or the stairs. And then I'll pick a body part, or a chest. I'll do, upper body, lower body, whatever. The other day, there was actually a post on Facebook, and someone had posted this men's fitness, like 70 exercises you can do without any weights. And it was like jump squats and lunges. And I did 25 minutes of that, and I could not work out yesterday because I was so my legs were done. But at the end of every day, we'll always take a walk, and we'll take Zach out in the stroller, and we'll walk either to the Hollywood sign or we'll walk on one of the trails in the area. So I do the morning or midday workout every single day, and then 4 to 6 days, and then every day I'll do a walk at the end of the day.
I love hearing that because I think so many people think weights are necessary. Some people think gyms are necessary, but you can get a lot accomplished without weights, without a gym.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was working in Atlanta, I was staying at a friend's house, and they had like a room in the basement with some weights, basically 245s and a bar, and then 2 dumbbells. And I made my workout every other night. I was there, and
getting it in,
listening to some 90s hip hop. It was hot.
And I love that you said that you were even incorporating your child. So many moms, so many dads say, well, I have kids, I don't have time to work out. But you even would push your child in a stroller.
I was going up the hill like my legs are gonna fall off, and he's just like, I'm like, this hurts.
So that's good that you even tie in, like, you can be a parent and work out.
Oh, absolutely. And then going to the gym that I go to and that we go to, you see a lot of people with multiple kids at the gym. So it's like there's no excuse.
I know. I always feel guilty. Like today, my day job, I'm a fitness manager. I work at an all-women's gym, and today one of the girls was training with one of the trainers, and her baby, maybe 2 or 3 years old. The kids club wasn't open yet, so the baby was sitting in the gym on a chair in front of where the weights were, where she was working out, sitting there so her mom could work out. And I felt like saying, "Excuse me, ma'am, this isn't safe for your child." But then, like, a part of me was like, just let her. Like, she's trying.
I was in Atlanta at one of the 150,000 Waffle House locations, and I saw this little girl. She's probably like 3 to 4, just sitting at one of the booths. I was like, oh, okay, I guess mom is in the bathroom or dad somewhere, whatever, right? It's about 15 minutes go by. I'm like, what is she doing? She's just chilling by herself. And then I see a lady come over to her and go, oh, honey, such and such, and blah, blah, blah. And she leaves. I'm like, okay, where's mom? And then I look and I'm like, oh, her mom is working. So she brings little girl to work because it's like, okay, look, I gotta work. No daycare. You are gonna sit at table 5. Don't touch nothing.
Color.
And you gotta make it work.
You just make it work, and she was making it work at Waffle House.
So no matter what your time management looks like, you can always play on DraftKings.com. So just a little word from our sponsor.
Yes, I like that.
At DraftKings.com, you don't need to come in first place to cash in, which is amazing because I hate the leagues where only the top guy wins. The player who finished 800th in week 1's biggest fantasy football contest took home $100. Wow.
That's kind of nice.
This weekend, DraftKings is hosting another huge fantasy contest with over $1 million in total prizes up for grabs. DraftKings is the destination for one-week fantasy football. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. So if you have time management trouble, you don't have to worry about season-long commitment.
Waffle House.
Play whatever you want with the players you want. Just pick your contest, draft your team, and follow the action live. Renew old rivalries with friends, family, and coworkers to find out who the superior GM really is. Whatever your level of fantasy experience, DraftKings is something for everyone. Don't wait. Get to DraftKings.com now and choose your players for this weekend's contest. Enter promo code BSports and play for free with your first deposit. That's promo code BSPORTS to play free for your share of over $1 million in total prizes this weekend. Only at DraftKings.com, DraftKings.com. Eligibility restrictions may apply. See website for details. Thank you, DraftKings.
Thank you, DraftKings.
Thank you, DraftKings. I'm going to go on there.
All right, so you're talking about Waffle House, and you have
Yes.
me thinking of all this food, and I know Oprah loves bread. Bread. So obviously you're on Greenleaf on the Oprah Network,
Yes.
and Oprah has been in some of the episodes.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that you've got to rub elbows with her. Do you know anything about her doing this this new diet, which one is it?
Weight Watchers.
Weight Watchers. Yeah.
Did she buy Weight Watchers?
Yeah, I think she.
Yeah, she has,
some ownership.
Yeah, some ownership.
How is she looking in person?
She looks great.
Yeah.
She looks phenomenal. She's a wonderful person to be around, and she's very omnipotent. I mean, I don't know. She's just like, she doesn't walk. She kind of just like
glides.
floats.
yeah.
But I mean, you know, at the premiere, she was, you know, just hanging out with everybody and just being just a normal person. I mean, she's just wonderful. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, well, you know, she doesn't. No, she does. She does everything well. She's a wonderful person, and I'm pretty sure in her eyes or in her closer circle, they may say, oh, well, you know, she likes to do this, and I don't know about those things yet. But yeah, she looks great.
Well, we got to get some more Greenleaf action. We have a clip of you and Isabel when she kind of confronts you here. Did you want to set it up anymore?
Wow, yeah. So this scene, I believe this is episode 9, when she wants to know the truth about with me and Grace, and it's a heck of a scene. Go for it.
Let's go ahead and play it.
Did you sleep with Grace?
Why would you ask me that?
I'm giving you one chance to tell me the truth, Noah. Did you? If you tell me the truth right now, just admit you made a mistake. We can move forward. But I cannot go into this marriage with a lie. Did you sleep with her? Thank you for not lying to me.
I didn't say anything.
You didn't have to. You know what? You two deserve each other. You know that? Take that. I don't want it.
Isabel.
Don't call my name. Don't say my name.
I don't want to marry Grace. I want to marry you.
Really? You have a really interesting way of showing that, Noah.
Isabel.
Don't say my name. You know, I knew we should have left this place when she came back. I knew you were too weak, but I waited. I waited because I believed in you. You can tell everyone at the mansion the wedding's off. These people aren't my problem anymore.
So that was a tough scene.
Woo, I felt that. I would have ran and got that ring. Like, girls, you know how much this ring is? What you doing?
It's a wonderful scene.
What kind of day was that for you?
You know, it was a really rough one because prior to that scene, so if you know the storyline, Mac's actions are basically coming to light, and Grace needs to tell everybody, but I needed to tell Isabel because we were getting married that this is what's going on. So unfortunately, Isabel goes to Grace and is like, hey, I need to tell you something. So Grace automatically thinks, oh, she knows. But she doesn't. So at the end of that conversation, she was like, what'd you think I was coming here for? But then she puts it together, so that's when she comes to my office, and then it's just like...
And you couldn't even say anything. I was like guilty as charged.
Yeah, but it was a great...
I think as men we tend to clam up.
Like, well, what do you mean, yes? I mean, I didn't say no, but I mean, yeah, no, it was a great one. Anna is phenomenal.
So you get that call, and you know you're going to be working with Merle Dandridge and Anna and these two gorgeous women, and you have to be in tip-top shape. Was there anything you did before filming that you
like physical shape?
Yeah.
So if you watch the first episode, and we have like the intimacy scene, I remember thinking, oh, well, I look okay. I generally, keep myself in good shape. And I remember watching one of the playbacks and going, Oh no. No, I'm not where I thought I was.
Yeah.
To the viewer, you probably think, oh wow, you look good, you look okay,
yeah.
whatever.
But you know what you can do. Yeah.
So if you watch how the season progresses, there is episode 8 when I come out of the shower and I'm like, damn, and it was on purpose. I was like, nah, I'm gonna come through here looking like, like season 2 is gonna be intense.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things. Like it was as motivating as an actor to be physically appealing as well as theatrically appealing.
Yeah.
Is there any like one actor out there where you're like, that's the body that I strive to have?
Wow, do I sound conceited and say no? Do I say yeah? You know what? No one really comes to mind. Only because I think that
You give me Maxwell, a little bit of Maxwell. No?
Physically, I see it. I don't know what his body looks like. I can't, shout out to Maxwell.
I've seen some pictures of him on the beach. He's doing pretty good.
Okay, well, all right, I'll take it. No, I
Can you
appreciate
sing?
that. Yeah.
Ooh, you can sing?
I have music on iTunes. I'm pointing the screen on iTunes right there.
Producers, engineers, can we pull him up on iTunes? I want to hear some, or YouTube.
Yeah, there's some stuff on iTunes. I think
What
there's at least
songs? What songs?
I believe there's one song on iTunes called Maxine that I just finished in April, I believe. It should be up there. It's under Sapphire Sky. If it's up there, producers, you can find it. If not, I can pull some up.
So
for you.
what did you dabble into first? Was it acting or was it music?
No, I was actually in music before. I started playing drums in high school, and then I moved from that. I started playing guitar and bass after college, and then piano in like 2003, because I was always just like fascinated by it. And so then I started playing live. I have a couple of live clips. I'm just trying to think of where they're stuck, either like Vimeo or something. But I had band and all that
Under
stuff.
Sapphire Sky?
Yes.
So how did acting come about?
Acting was basically like as I started modeling in like early 2000s.
Model too?
That's what I started with.
Multifaceted area.
I would get friends that would be like, oh, we're working on this Pepsi commercial or working on this Macy's commercial, and I was like, well, how do I get commercial jobs? So I started talking to my agents and going in for those, and then I started booking, and then I would have friends that are actors on like daytime soaps or something like that, or like CSI, and I was like, ooh, well, how do I get that? And then I started getting into that. But as I was doing it, I was making some money. I would buy equipment, and I would buy, a new guitar, a new bass, and all that kind of stuff. And so I just started learning how to record, and then finally was able to, if you look up, let's say Sharon, the Sapphire Sky. Yep, that's me.
All right, let's hear some of that.
Go to that. Go to that one. There's a song called "Walk in the Park," which is a really pretty song. I did everything too. I did all the vocals. If they sound whack, it's my fault. If it sounds good, it's my fault.
Let's play that clip.
Yeah.
Did you say this is on Greenleaf?
No. This is just my music. And yeah, this is a good.
Nice.
And actually, if you could go to House That Funk Built, because this is what I was just playing at the house. Because that music is kind of a variety of things, but House That Funk Built is a very good indication of what I do.
So, do you work out to your own music?
Sometimes.
Knew it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at you. Wow.
I like
You do
this,
it
yeah.
all.
Some fun stuff.
Did you know this, Shaka?
No, I have no idea.
I know something new today. I knew he was giving me Maxwell. I was like, I see some music in him. I see something. Oh, wow, look at that. Okay, so your true passion must be music then. It's your first passion, your first love.
I think it's creativity in general.
Are you a
because
lefty?
You know what? Okay, this is the long answer. I'm right-handed.
Ambidextrous.
I am
ambidextrous.
but I play right-handed, but as a DJ, which is what I did before all music.
Right?
We need to resolution.
I scratch left-handed.
Lefty?
Yeah. So I lead with left. So that's if I'm queuing up, I'm always on the left side first.
Interesting. Who's your favorite musician?
Prince.
Prince, yeah.
Prince.
Yeah,
hands down.
yeah, hands down.
Yeah.
Wait, so we know you're going to film Greenleaf again now in November?
Yes.
So what are you going to do diet-wise before you even get to set? Are you going to like cut out some sugars, cut out some bread? Like,
I am going
Are you gonna bulk up?
I'm gonna eat
Yeah.
just spinach. That's all. No, I think what I'm gonna do is because I was lucky enough to be able to go grocery shopping for myself, is continue that walking thing, and with this little exercise thing I did the other day with just no weights at all. I'll probably just have like a set of 10s or a set of 25s in my room or wherever I'm staying, and that'll be my nightly routine. And then just 15 minutes of yoga or something like that, and I'll just keep it right.
Is there a clause in your contract that says,
That you
"Hey,
can't
by the way,
gain or
if you
lose
get
too much?"
15 more pounds, we need to tighten up"?
They're gonna be like, "Hey, Noah, nah, son, put your shirt back on."
It'll be a winter scene.
Did you play any sports? You look like a cross-country type of runner, or
Actually, I was a swimmer.
Swimmer,
I swam
okay.
all 4 years,
Same, okay.
and I swim butterfly and free were my strokes, and then football 2 years as well.
Look at the Michael Phelps here too.
right?
Yeah. And
Did you break any records?
No, I
Is there
didn't.
anything else? Look him up. Look, he broke the record. He went
Right.
to the Olympics.
Right.
Yeah, and it's funny because I remember when I was swimming, like there was no like African American swimmers, and now there's a few gold medalists.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
3 or 4 that I can think of.
Yeah, we got Cullen Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, so your child, are you prepping? It's a he.
Yes.
Him to be a musician, an actor. What are your hopes and dreams?
You know what? I want him to be happy. I want him to do whatever he wants. However, he does sit on my lap and he will bang on the piano. Like he will just, and I can tell he's putting something together because he's definitely doing it and pausing and doing it and doing it. So I mean, he's still super young. So it's not like,
Hopefully he's making those connections.
he's making connections because I know, like, I was listening to music. There's a cassette that my mother has of me at 3 years old singing a Jackson 5 song, and I'm not just singing it. I'm actually singing it, and I'm singing the musical parts as well. Because now when I listen to the song, I'm like, I hear the bass line, I hear the different the snare and everything, and I know that was probably because they always have music going on. So
Yeah. Have you ever seen Bruno Mars when he was younger? He was like an Elvis impersonator.
oh, really?
Oh, was he?
No.
I
Oh,
can
my
see that
goodness.
though. I could the hair.
I'm not going to tell the engineer to look it up, but after
But
this,
they're looking
it
he
up.
would win, like, he was maybe 5 years old. Getting it. Like, you
Really?
knew he was gifted at that age. Like, he just. So I think you're right. Even as children, you can notice when they're gifted. So.
Yeah.
And we do have to give the viewers a little bit more, Mr. Patterson. So we have another scene. No. This is the scene with the.
Oh, this is episode 8.
Episode 8.
Sips
Yeah.
tea.
So go ahead, set this one up for us.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, so Grace we basically have talked about what's
This is the one
going
you're
on
cheating with.
Mac. Yeah, she's my former love. Like, and part of the challenge of the scene is the reason why we broke up is because of Mac, and she explains that to me that it wasn't us and that we needed to see other people. It was basically Mac did all this stuff, and she just was like, hey. So at this point, we were talking, and it's like, hey, you're getting married, and I'm like, wow, like, yeah, we're never gonna be able to see each other in this capacity again. This is kind of like, bachelor party, everything, like, is it? So.
I know. That's crazy, right? What?
Nothing.
No, say it. We might not get the chance to talk like this again.
I was just thinking, if all this hadn't happened, that son of a bitch hadn't done what he did to Faith, we'd still be together.
I don't know about that.
We might be.
I always thought you'd wind up with someone more exciting.
You think that's what I want? Someone more exciting? You were home to me. When I was with you, I was home. He took that away from me along with everything else. And I hate him for that.
probably should.
God, I'm sorry.
No, don't be.
Subscribe to the
Well, maybe we should tell the viewers PG.
Chocolate pudding.
You just got all the ladies
Hey.
on Greenleaf.
Yeah, that was a yeah, and you know it's like the challenge the problem that he's facing is that like this is the love of his life and it was screwed up by
Yeah, what happened? I'm out of the loop. Why?
So-
what guy did what to?
So her uncle basically abused her sister. The sister ends up committing suicide, but tells her, and so she tells the family, but the family doesn't believe her. So we break up. She ends up leaving, going to Arizona to live. I stay, grow up in the family, and work for the family. And Uncle Mac has been there the whole time. Nobody knows this except for her. So the very first episode, she comes back because of Faith's funeral. But she ends up running into Aunt Mavis, who is Oprah, and she's like, hey, look, he's at it again. And I know you said something last time and nobody believed you, but now we have proof. If you pursue this, we can do this. You know what I mean? And so at this point in the story, you know, all these things are kind of going on, and I find out that we actually could have had a chance, but I'm with Isabel and I love her, but, you know, I gotta...
So she came home with episode 8. She really came home.
Yeah.
She found her home again briefly.
So, yeah, it's you guys should check it out. It's a good
It's
story.
going to be an
Yeah.
exciting season 2. I covered it, the after show for Greenleaf, so I'm just super excited about next season.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. They're writing as we speak. Writing.
Now, you did Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
I always wondered, because I know you're just a TV doctor or, you know, you're working in the medical field on TV. When you're working on a medical-based show like that, do you actually learn, like, real information? Because I imagine, because they need for it to look real.
Right, and they do have physicians that are They usually list a consultant, but they're usually physicians. So they have actual ambulance techs there that are actual ambulance drivers, and then they have actual doctors. My particular episode, I am the brother of Dr. Ben Warren, and I'm transitioning from male to female.
Ooh.
In that, there was a few things in my dialogue that I had to be able to say like I knew what I was talking about. So there was the physician that was kind of walking me through what I was going to be saying, because I was having liver failure and kidney issues because I was taking some sort of really bad hormonal transitioning pills or whatever, and that's how the episode starts. So if you want to check that out, I believe it's season 11, episode 12.
Nice.
Yeah.
A question for you is, you went from swimmer and playing all these sports, and then, you know, you're a musician, and you go to acting, and you have to, you know, find this time with the kid as well. How have you evolved your, like, fitness, and what changes have you noticed throughout this span?
You know, I remember there was a time in my life where I can go to 24-hour fitness and play basketball for 2.5 hours. And I don't do that anymore. But one of the things, it just makes you, you just kind of allocate your time. You know, I know if he's asleep, or there's a time where I know he's gonna be napping, then I'm like, okay, let me do this, and that. Like if I'm working on a song, or if I'm editing something, or I haven't got an idea for a video and I was driving over here, I was like, ooh, that's something I'm gonna do, but I gotta like figure out when he's gonna be sleeping. So there's time, and then there's night. When nighttime, I've never since birth been an early sleeper. I always go to bed between like 1 and 2. And now with him, it's like, well, no matter how late you're up, you're getting up at 7. So, you know. So it just means that you just basically allocate your time and you just use it a lot more efficiently.
I know as a musician, to be creative, I'm not saying you, but a lot of musicians will drink a lot, you know, just so they could get those creative juices flowing. Being that you have a child now, you have to wake up early. Do you find yourself like backing off from things that you might have done before to help creativity, or?
You know what? I'm the exception. I'm the exception. No, I'm the exception in that I don't drink.
Oh, okay.
I don't do anything.
Oh, so you're just naturally creative.
I drink tea. That's literally that's the hardest thing I drink.
Is that a choice to be healthy, or it's just something that...
It was just always that way. Like I had friends that drank. No, no. But even like when I was DJing, I would think like, I can't drink because I need to like set my equipment up, get the lights up, get everything ready, and then when everyone's trashed, I got to take my stuff down, get in my car, I got to get home, because I'm working. Yeah. So it was just never part of it, but I was still able to participate, if not create the party. So it was just one of those things like, well, I don't need to, so I'm not.
You're on a natural high.
So that might be the secret.
Yeah.
That might be the secret.
But people have their drinks. I used to bartend, so I mean, I've tasted everything, but I just never participated. So even now, it's
you used to bartend too?
Oh, yeah.
He was like bartending DJ.
Yeah.
He might be my brother.
Yeah, I've had several jobs.
Where do you see yourself in your career, let's say 10 years from now? What do you want to be doing? Do you want to revert back to music, or do you want to be directing?
Well, hopefully on Greenleaf, right?
Yeah, season 10. I actively am pursuing everything now, and I think with the opportunities that this show is presenting, it's even more inspiring to do music as well as TV. I mean, I look at one of my main inspirations is Jamie Foxx, and Oscar winner, and he's a performer, he's a comedian, which I don't necessarily see myself doing stand-up comedy, but he does all those things, and he does them well, and he exceeds it, and he succeeds at them. So, and that's one of the instances where I say, well, yeah, there's the person. Like you can't say that you can't be, you can't do comedy, you can't do drama, you can't do this. There it is, right there. Yeah, you can. So that's the trajectory.
Watch, we're gonna see him doing stand-up. Watch, you're gonna have him stand-up in a couple of years. He's gonna be back on the show, cracking us up.
Well, we've got to put you on the spot a little bit. If you could give one piece of fitness advice to our viewers, what would it be?
Don't make excuses. Don't make excuses. See the result that you want. And a lot of times I'll look around the gym to decide what I'm going to do that day. I'm like, somebody's doing legs, well, I'm going to do arms, whatever. Yeah. But I've seen people with physical disabilities. I've seen people with. There's a guy that works at Equinox who's I don't think he's completely blind because he has a cane, but sometimes he puts it down and he'll still walk around and do stuff. But just don't make excuses. You know what I mean? Just get stuff done. You may be tired, you may be a little cranky, whatever. People will excuse you if you're hangry. But just, get it done. Don't make excuses.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Do you have any tips as far as, I know you have to travel a lot. Greenleaf is filmed in Atlanta. You live here in LA. When I travel, it's like I really have to plan it out because it could go downhill quick. What are your tips?
For food-wise, I would say if you're forced to only eat out, drink a lot of water. Because you'd be surprised at when you're able to digest. I mean, if you eat whatever you're eating, and you have a soda or you have a milkshake or you have a coffee drink or whatever, your body holds on to it longer. So if you're drinking a lot of water, it's just like, you're constantly like in digestion mode. And then, walk. Get your walk on, if it's every morning at Cracker Barrel or if it's every morning at Waffle House.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Waffle House.
Because I went the very first day I was there, I was like, I'm going to that Waffle House. And I actually made it back there a couple times, but still, I mean, you find, I think because you've got places like Whole Foods and you got places that have like actually hot prepared food in the store, you can actually make healthier alternatives if you have the choice. If you don't have the choice, then just stick to the basics. Don't eat so much.
I know Shaka's a vegan. Could you ever picture yourself going vegan?
I don't know.
I mean, waffles are vegan, right?
Well, they can be. They can be. And I've actually had really good vegan food. And I always say, like, if it's done right, it's really good.
Yeah.
If it's done wrong, it's like anything. I'll never do that. So I don't know.
Yeah. And we live in LA, so it's easy. It's so easy in LA. In other places, I think it would be a lot more difficult.
Yeah. I went to one place in Santa Monica. I'm trying to think of where it was. But I got a smoothie. It was about that big. It was $15.
And that's another thing.
And I was like, come on, y'all. Like... It's coconut.
You got that Greenleaf money, right? Greenleaf
But no,
Buddy, you're
I feel
good.
like
No, I'm
those
kidding.
places do us such a disservice because you can be vegan and be very cheap when you're vegan.
Yeah.
Like it's possible to live very cheaply vegan, but then you have those places that charge that much, and
Yeah.
that's what get the news, the big stories, and the social
Right.
media, and so people
Right.
naturally assume if I want to be vegan, I'm going to be spending a lot of money.
Right, and I think, and interestingly enough, a lot of the things I eat are vegan. I'm just not like I'll eat chicken, I'll eat fish, and I'll eat red meat. But there's a lot, like the tea that I drink says it's vegan. And there's like Honey Nut Cheerios, I think it's vegan. There's a couple other things, or sorry, it's gluten free. But it would just be an adjustment, if I'm working in Tibet and it's like, hey, look, we've got grains and we've got water. Like, you'll live.
Yeah.
Hey.
Between that and the walking, you're good.
I'm good. I'll have a big
Walking
fur on
everywhere.
and a mustache with some ice in it. I'll see y'all.
All right, I had a blast. This was fun chatting with you and finding out, that you are a master of all trades.
Yes.
But one of those things you're really good at is staying healthy and making healthy choices. So we appreciate all the tips and everything that you informed us about. One more thing, do you guys have a gym on set? I know some places do. No. Okay.
No, we just
Come on,
we get our
Oprah.
walk on.
We gotta
Oprah
get
gotta step it up.
Yeah, you're giving those scenes. Yeah, you definitely we gotta get a gym
I
on
will
set to
make sure I'm it. If I have a cement to do push-ups on and something to walk on,
You'll
good
make
to
it
go.
happen.
lunges.
All right, so those people out there, where can they find you? Last Place online.
find
And is it
me
really you
online.
on social media?
It is me.
Okay.
I run it. It's verified. You can see because there's tons of pictures of me doing really crazy stuff. Ben Just Creates on Twitter and Benjamin Patterson all day on Instagram.
And check out his Snapchat. Yeah.
No, my Snapchats are ridiculous.
All
You'll
right.
see the filters.
I'm
if
going to
you go-
follow you right now. I don't have Snapchat, but
follow.
what is it again?
I follow
Ben.
Benjamin Patterson.
Benjamin.
All day. A-L.
Oh, Patterson.
And that's me dressed as Prince in 4th grade.
Oh, I got you. Oh, look at that. All right, follow. All right, you guys follow him.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in. You guys can
you.
catch us every week, Wednesday night live, or you can watch, afterwards on iTunes, on the podcast, or on YouTube. You guys can find me at fitwithfallon.com or fitwithfallon on social media.
And you can find me at Shaka Strong on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And when Greenleaf returns, I believe it'll be in the Wednesday night slot at 10 p.m.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
All right.
Season 2. See you there.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Christie, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.